Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope your day's gone great. Mine's been awesome so far, and today we have a juicy video. We're going to be starting it off with the Dallas Fuel. So earlier today, Jayne made some tweets talking about how Dallas Fuel has been performing really well in scrims. And it makes him chuckle every time he looks at the power rankings list because I guess it seems like the Dallas Fuel aren't in the ranking that he would expect them to be in based off of their scrims. Now this tweet got some mixed responses. Some people were like, why are you bragging? It's just scrims. Then other people were excited to know that the Dallas Fuel were doing good. Then Jayne decided to respond to all the people talking about it, and then eventually he ended up deleting both tweets. Fortunately though, we do know what he said, so I will be showing you guys exactly what's going on. Then moving on to the second topic, we have an easy transition because we're discussing the Washington DC Overwatch League team. One of the coaches, Avala, went on Twitter and posted a video of their players celebrating and jumping in the pool because they have been performing really well in scrims recently. So very interesting. We have two teams out there saying they're doing really well in scrims, and they're both teams that are kind of like meh rated. At least the Dallas Fuel is kind of in the middle of the pack, you know. I've seen them from like 8th all the way to 15th. For the Washington Justice, though, they've kind of been dead last, so we're going to cover those tweets. Then we are also going to be taking a look at the San Francisco Shock Mega Mansion because they uploaded a house tour the other day, and it's absolutely insane. Then moving on to the third and final topic of the video, we are going to be looking at some clips from the Oversight. Thank God, guys, the Oversight did make its return earlier today. It hasn't been posted on YouTube yet, and we can't even watch the past broadcast of the show because on Thorin's Twitch channel, he doesn't allow past broadcasts to be saved. But fortunately, I did clip one bit of it about the Houston Outlaws because it seemed really interesting to me, and I definitely want to talk about them. So we're going to be looking at that at the end of the video, and we'll discuss why they and I also think the Houston Outlaws are going to underperform this season. That will be the video. If you guys are excited to watch this one, do me a favor, drop a like and subscribe for more daily uploads. Now let's go ahead and hop into it. Alright, so let's jump into those tweets that Jayne made earlier today. This was the first one. Every time I see a new power ranking, I just think back to scrims from the day before and quietly chuckle to myself. This is gonna be an exciting season, smiley face. Unfortunately, we don't have the screenshot of the actual tweet because he did end up deleting them and we can't see some of the responses. But I do remember what a lot of people were saying, and also you can still see the comments on Reddit. Again, half the people were saying it's just scrims. We really shouldn't be getting super excited or overconfident about them because we all know this, scrims are scrims. Last season, so many teams talked about how they were really good in scrims, specifically the Seoul Dynasty and the Shanghai Dragons. And I mean, Shanghai Dragons is a very extreme example of that. Obviously, they weren't great in scrims, but a lot of teams did say, like midway into the season, that Shanghai Dragons were pretty decent in scrims and they expected them to win a game eventually. Well, they ended up never doing it because they could never perform on stage like they did in scrims. Then for the Seoul Dynasty, they are the perfect example. Teams often said that they never beat Seoul Dynasty in scrims, but for some reason, Seoul Dynasty never even made it to the end of a stage playoff and overall finished ranked number 8 in the Overwatch League out of 12 teams. A massive underperformance because they couldn't show up on stage when it mattered. And another example of this that is very recent is Team USA in the Overwatch World Cup, where everybody had them predicted to make it to the final or at least barely lose to Korea. And nobody even considered the thought that Team UK would beat USA because apparently Team USA had been dominating in scrims. They were destroying everyone. It was going to be the easiest tournament ever. They were so confident in their interviews, they were literally laughing at the thought of losing to Team UK or just thinking about the other teams. They just thought they were a joke. Well, guess what? They got upset in the first round very badly. So I can see the argument that these guys are making on Twitter and on Reddit that scrims are scrims. But it is also good to know that the Dallas Fuel are happy and they are performing in scrims, and that does mean a little bit. It might not mean that they're going to go into the Overwatch League and dominate every single team like they did in scrims, but it does mean that they are building confidence right now and that they do probably trust each other. And then Jayne did end up making a response to this, and he said, "This isn't a brag about Dallas scrim results, but commentary about how a lot of teams either better or worse than people think." Now, I'll be honest here, I don't think Jayne was trying to brag hard, maybe like a humble brag. I think he did want to point out the fact that a lot of the community doesn't actually know how these teams are performing or where they will end up ranking, but also did want to say something about how the Dallas Fuel are performing just to let the fans know and let people know who follow him that they are doing good right now, and it's not so grim as some people think. like me, which I do respect that, but I also agree with the other people who do think that scrims are scrims. I would know this firsthand. I played professionally for a very long time on Kungarna. We were very bad at scrims. We often got rolled in scrims and then 3 days later would turn around and destroy the team that was destroying us in scrims. A really good example of this is when my team played against XQC. You guys know this. Me and XQC, we had a ton of beef, our team versus their team, and he always thought they were going to beat us, and we would trash talk each other before our matches, and he was extremely confident because we would get rolled in scrims against them. Like, we would lose pretty badly, but every time the match came around, my team would end up beating his, and then after it, that's when he started to call my team cheaters. Baby Bay, Dogman, me. He would say we turned the switch on, and he literally accused us of cheating. Just because we were so bad in scrims, but then somehow won in matches. And honestly, we played better in matches. Yeah, some scrims didn't take seriously, but in general, we weren't that good at them. I don't know why, but when the match time came, we really turned up. And I know for a fact this happens with a lot of teams, just being a part of the pro community, scrimming other teams, seeing how bad they are in scrims, and then watching them perform like crazy in actual matches, and then just hearing it from other Overwatch League players. It happens 100%. Scrims really are just for practice and just for experimenting and working on things that you need to get better at, and they really don't reflect on how you would perform in a match. So now we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and move on to the second part of this topic, which is the Washington DC team, because their coach Avala did the same exact thing that Jayne did on Twitter. She posted this. This is my version of Corey jumping into the pool after promising he's doing it if we win a lot of scrims once we got to LA. Stratus was nice enough to join, plus say hi to other faces, and then here's the video.
Ready? Count us down. 3, 2, 1, go!
So yeah, seems like Avala is also claiming that Washington DC is winning a lot of scrims, which I believe it. I believe that Washington DC are winning a lot of scrims against teams like Boston, Houston, Florida, Atlanta Reign, Dallas Fuel, other expansion teams. I feel like they do pick up scrims against them. But does that mean they're going to perform really well in the Overwatch League? Absolutely not, especially looking at their Stage 1 schedule, which is the main reason why I'm rating them so low. Honestly, I don't get why a lot of other people in our community are rating them like dead last, even under the Chengdu Hunters, because they seriously do have some good pieces. The main reason I'm rating them low is because of their hard schedule in Stage 1. They're going to get rolled by the best teams in the Overwatch League. They might be able to recover from that, but I don't think they'll be able to recover enough to make the playoffs. Anyways, the moral of the story here, guys, is that scrims are scrims, and I don't believe that they 100% translate into the Overwatch League. That's pretty much it for this topic. Let's go ahead and move on now and take a look at the San Francisco Shock Mega Mansion, because it's sick. I'll go ahead and play you guys like the first minute of the video, because it kind of shows a whole bunch of images of the house, and it's also pretty funny. If you do want to watch the full video, all you have to do is search up San Francisco Shock on YouTube, go to their channel, it'll be their recent video. I'll also try to remember to link the video down below.
Yo, what's up guys, Super Sinatra here, giving you guys an SF Shock house tour. We got new season, new players, new living quarters, so how about I show you along? Let's go. We're here in the front yard. We have the ping pong table. Nice. There's a little bit of a big match going on right now. We play ping pong before scrims, after scrims, whenever we feel like it.
Yeah, but too bad I'm better than everybody combined. You guys are trash.
So here we are in our beautiful backyard with our nice pool. It's the winter. Most people wouldn't be swimming in January, but we have a nice heated pool, and we're in LA, so we can make it work.
Okay, my butt is literally numb, bro.
Oh. Go Shane, go Shane.
And there it is. It's kind of cringy, but again, go check it out on San Francisco Shock's YouTube channel. They do upload a lot of cringy content, I'm not gonna lie. But hey, I think it's absolutely hilarious. You guys should go check it out. Also, Sinatra's rocking the OG Korean haircut, pretty much a bowl cut. Let me know what you guys think about that as well, and the house. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the final topic of the video. I do want to talk about the Houston Outlaws. So I ranked the Houston Outlaws at number 16 in my power rankings, and I got a decent amount of flack for it. but I think it's very reasonable to put them at number 16. They just don't have the right pieces going into this season. And that's kind of what was discussed today on Oversight between Thorne, Monte Cristo, Jay from the Toronto Defiant, and also Brad from the Atlanta Reign. Let's go and roll a couple clips of them talking about why the Houston Outlaws are not going to be that successful this season.
Was probably one of the most improved players since the start of Overwatch League. You could make an argument that that was going to really power up their roster, I think. However, I do also believe that, Linkser was pretty inconsistent. He would hit very high highs and pretty low lows. Their tank line, I think, is questionable at this point in time based on the, sort of waning performances of players like Muma, who looked super good when the season started, but he has a way of playing Winston, and it's a very aggressive way of playing Winston. It's a very solo way of playing Winston, and that sort of fell out of favor as teams learned how to deal with it. So I'm less confident that he's going to be the one to really lead this team to success. And KINGmykL is a good diva player, but remember that they have to split their, they were always subbing in Spree as the Zarya player. So what's that going to look like as the season goes on? I think it's tough. I think it's going to be tough for them because they don't have players who are well-rounded. They have a bunch of specialists. And I'm not sure that strategy is going to work as well in Overwatch League Season 2 as it did in Season 1.
Like, for sure in Season 1, like, Houston was hurt by the overall, like, rule set, and Boston was helped, right? Like, the fact that
Yes.
map 5 was a Koth,
Yes.
and that Koth favors basically tracers popping off, meant that Boston would always win in map 5, and
Yes.
Houston would always choke. And so, but the thing is now tracer's not like a huge part of Koth, so the fact that this problem has been corrected for Season 2 doesn't immediately help them, right? Like for any sort of map 5 scenario. But I do think Dante is an upgrade for sure. Like, I think, and he's not an upgrade over anyone specific. He's just like an addition to the team, right? Where he's there to like do a lot.
So this is exactly what I was talking about in my rankings video. Yeah, Dante's a great addition to the team, but it's too late. What more is he going to do for them that their DPS players already can't? Everything he plays was already covered by Linkser, Jake, or Arhan besides the Tracer, but now we don't really need a Tracer going into the Overwatch League. And I really love the point that Brad made about the 5th map. Since it's always control, teams like Boston had the edge in the 5th map every single time, and then a team like the Houston Outlaws, they would never win map 5s because they never had a good Tracer. And that's not going to matter in the next season, but that was a big reason why they always lost map 5s. And also, with what Monte Cristo was saying, Linkser was inconsistent. When he was doing good, he looked great. But for like 60% of the time, when he was on his lows, he looked very bad. So overall, I'm a little bit worried for the Houston Outlaws, and I wanted to show you guys these clips just so you guys can see that other people do have the same concerns that I have and that they don't look that great going into this next season. Hopefully the full broadcast is uploaded to YouTube soon because I'm so happy that Oversight's back. It's an amazing podcast. Monte Cristo and Thorne, they are great. I'll be sure to leave a link down to the YouTube channel. You should definitely subscribe to him and you guys will get the notification when he uploads the full broadcast. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, that is going to be the video for me. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below if you did so. Also, like it and subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.